What's up, everybody, and welcome to episode 19 of the Channel 8 podcast. I'm your host, Sean Go, and joining me for today's show is Marissa Hill, who you might know better as ShadeTV, one of the largest female sneaker and streetwear channels on YouTube. So glad to have you on the show, Marissa.
Hey, everyone. Hey, Sean. Thanks so much for having me on.
How's everything going?
Everything's going great. It's just glad to be at the end of the week, which is nice.
I see you've been pretty busy, though. I've been following your channel for a while, and you've been uploading pretty much every day, it seems like.
Pretty much every day, yeah. I definitely don't shoot necessarily every day. I try and just kind of bundle it together so that I have enough content to go out throughout the week. But yeah, it's been pretty active. Try to stay consistent because that's pretty much what YouTube's all about. I know that you know that very well. You post very consistently.
I try, but yeah, it's a battle juggling. I don't know if you have a full-time job.
I do model full-time, and so I usually will have to either shoot on the weekends or I shoot early in the morning before my call time, or if I can get done early, I'll try and rush home before the light's gone. Luckily, it's staying light longer, so I have more time to work with. But the other issue is, I don't think a lot of people realize this, but models have a 10-hour day. That's considered a full day, not an 8-hour day.
Okay.
And typically we'll go over. So a lot of times I end up working 12-hour days, which is pretty crazy. And it's frustrating because you actually just don't know your end time. So, you know, if you have a 9 to 5, at least you know for a fact you're going to be done at 5 o'clock. But for me, I'm like... when am I going to be done, guys? Anybody want to tell me? They're like, I don't know.
Yeah, no, I hear you though. It's juggling like your day job and then just finding whatever time you can to pursue like the side gig. That's all about me too.
The hustle is real.
It is,
right?
It is. But anyways, usually how I start things off is asking, what shoes have you been wearing this week?
It's been getting really toasty in New York. And I know that you're in Canada, so I don't know how the summers are there, but in New York, it just gets really humid and sticky.
Yeah.
So I am kind of in that moment where I need to have like some extreme perforation going on where I've got a lot of breathability, which is why I am obsessed with the foam runners. This is kind of, you know, one of my go-tos just because, you know, there's lots of wind that can blow through these holes.
They were actually surprisingly very, very comfy. I did not expect them to be that comfy.
Yeah, they're extremely comfy. I would say probably like my favorite shoes that I never saw myself, you know, really getting into were my Crocs, but I'm obsessed with these. This is just literally my quick throw on shoe. It's got summery colors. Everyone always compliments me on this. This is probably one of my most complimented, you know, items that I probably wear. I wear this to set all day long if I can, because sometimes they don't have slippers for us and you'll be walking on like a cold ground barefoot. Yeah.
Oh, that's terrible.
And I mean, there's just, you know, there's little things that you'll find like pins and safety pin type of things all over the ground. So you don't want to step on it. So I always have these just in case. Then my other kind of summery breathable silhouette are the Yeezy slides. I'm obsessed with these. I think that this is just, you know, a quick go-to for me. But, you know, if I am kind of walking around in the city, which can be kind of hectic in New York because you're running from subway to subway and my feet do get kind of tired in those. So I want to have, you know, a comfy sneaker. So my down New Balances have been kind of my go-to this past week. They're just so comfy. I can wear these all day long. They have such good arch support. I feel the padding in them as soon as I put my foot inside the shoe. So this is definitely like my safety shoe when I know it's going to be a long day of running around the city. But I just actually brought these back out since it's the summertime.
Oh, you're killing it. This rotation is crazy.
I know. I have my whole like comfy lineup for the week and I base it off of my schedule. Like, am I going to be working far away from where I live? So I'm going to have to be like running from train to train, or is it just going to be a chill week? But this was probably last year my most complimented shoe. I think that I've ever owned, just because of how unique and different people are confused. They think I bought two separate shoes.
Yeah, I feel like the Asics Sean Wotherspoon, they're kind of slept on to a degree because everyone always thinks of the 197, but those ones
Oh
are
yeah.
fire.
Yeah, definitely. And I've always been a fan of Asics. I think Asics makes some great shoes. I'm an athlete, so I've seen a lot of physical therapists in my lifetime. And one of the things they've always told me is, Marissa, like, you've got to take care of your feet. And one of the brands that have always kind of stood out is New Balance and Asics. And so I don't even care sometimes what a shoe will look like. If it's something that I need support in for that day, because I'm having like cramping in my feet or something, like, I'm going to wear that. But that is like a stylish version of a shoe that I feel like is just quite comfortable.
Yeah, totally. So my week has been, yeah, it's not bad. So like, I kicked off the week wearing the Air Hirachi, the OG Game Royal and Dynamic Pink colorway. And then on Tuesday, I wore the Bape Adidas Superstars. And then I took out the Bricks and Wood New Balance 5740 that just came out last week or so. And then I took out the Air Max 90 Laser Blue. Yesterday, New Balance 998 Coastal Pack is just like a GR.
I will say you do a great job, Sean, with mixing up with New Balance. You're one of the few YouTubers out there that really does a great job with New Balance, and I'm such a huge fan. So I love that that's like in your weekly rotation. New Balance.
Yeah, New Balance is they're getting up there.
I'm like, listen, this shoe, this colorway, and the grayish kind of brown colorway, those were reselling for like $800. And so I'm like, if you slept on it as a reseller, that's your bad, because these were killing it. I mean, Jound is just such a great collaboration that New Balance partnered with. So I think,
I just feel like the production run for New Balance, I don't know the numbers, but I have a feeling it's a fraction of the typical Nike Jordan production run.
But they're definitely picking and choosing, I feel like, the right collabs. I saw that you picked up the MTAs on your Instagram today.
We'll talk about that later.
I know, I'm obsessed. So, I mean, we got to add the Slam Jams to your collection, right?
One day.
One day.
In terms of like sneaker pickups, so you probably go through a ton of pairs. I don't know, like, I assume you buy the shoes you review to keep. I don't know.
I only buy my shoes for retail, for one. So a lot of people always ask, are you somebody that buys it for resale? I don't really have a focus on buying shoes early and being that YouTube channel that presents it to you like a month or 2 months in advance. I basically go for shoes like everybody else. I definitely have a lot of assistance with my family and my friends helping me, but definitely only purchasing my shoes for retail. If I have to pay resale, then I just kind of pass on them.
Yeah, that's a good mentality to have. And it starts getting dangerous once you start sliding into the whole resale side of buying shoes. So hopefully you can stay retail only. But what have you picked up lately?
So I have had a lot of pickups. I have them lined up, actually, so I don't forget what I picked up. But which ones to start with? Actually, today I did a live on the Mono Ices. So I just picked these up from a raffle that I won. Was super excited to do the unboxing, which is actually going out later. But just a nice refreshing colorway, and the material on this is like so perfect for summertime.
It's not prime knit, right? Or is it?
This is not prime knit whatsoever. Yeah, it's almost like half the thickness actually of prime knit. It's very, very thin, but it is actually not as malleable as prime knit is. And the reason they did that is for the caging. So it's like a stealth material. And they did it, I think, so that you could see the caging unit underneath a little bit easier.
Yeah, those are crazy. Yeah. Very alien-like, I gotta say.
Yeah, very, very alien-like. And then I guess I'll stick with the Yeezys for now, but I picked up the Alien Blues as well.
Speaking about aliens.
Speaking about aliens. And then my last Yeezy pickup were the MNBNs in the bright cyan. Had to add that to my collection since I've got the whole neon color going on. And then for Nikes, let's see here. So many Kobe Prochos for the playoff pack. And then the last pickup was the Sunset Pulse Dunks. And these are the ones that I have in hand, but I also am waiting on the Yeezy in Flames. Those were supposed to come today, but you know how things are. They get delayed. And then today I also got the undefeated Air Force One and Dunk Pack.
Nice.
So excited to see that. And then the Ambush Dunks in the Royal colorway.
It's a ton of heat coming your way. And I got to say
I forgot one. Oh. The New Balance Bodega 990s. I was like, wait, I'm missing one. I know.
We just talked about New Balance too.
Literally. I was like, wait, there's one more. Is it a New Balance? It is a New Balance.
But I was saying the undefeated release was very, very smooth today. Surprisingly.
Yeah. Surprisingly it was.
Seemed like everyone that wanted a pair was able to get it.
Was able to get it. Yeah. Exactly. So it's always an interesting, run with it though. You just never know.
Yeah. So for my week, it's been pretty good variety. So I kicked off the week getting the South Beach LeBron 8.
They're very colorful. I like the color scheme on those.
I also got the Bodega New Balance 990 V3. I put up a video for that yesterday, I think. So if you haven't seen that, check that out. Puma Canada, shout out to them. They sent me the RS Connect Laser in the Vaporous Gray colorway. I also picked up the Concepts A6 Gel Light 3 Otoro. Love that pair. I picked up the Air Jordan 1 Low OG Neutral Gray, which is coming out next week. So I literally just posted the review on that like 10 minutes before we jumped on this call.
When do you find time to shoot all your content? My goodness, it's crazy.
Right? After 6 p.m., weekends, weeknights, early mornings, lunch breaks.
Right? It's like anytime you have like a minute, you're shooting. People are always asking that. It's like, well, I'll take like a 30-minute lunch and then I'll quickly shoot for 30 minutes and then go back and do whatever I was doing.
Exactly. That's exactly what it is. I also got 2 pairs of the Collegium Pillar Destroyer Low. Collegium, if you guys haven't heard, is a independent brand located in California, but their products are made in Italy. And the last pair, shout out to you actually, the New Balance 920 collaboration with MTA. So long story short, like there's no one that posted about this on YouTube. And then I found your video like a couple weeks ago, and I just happened to hit a restock on Dover Street Market online. And then
oh wow, you got on a restock at Dover.
Yes. And it arrived at my door today. So video is coming up maybe in the next week or so.
It is a beautifully done shoe. And especially like since I live in New York and I'm always riding the MTA.
Exactly.
Like what better than a shoe to run around all over the city in than my MTA New Balance collab.
Super comfy too, I gotta say.
Now we got to get a shot of you, Sean, coming to New York, and riding the MTA. So maybe we'll have to do a video where it's you and I hopping on the subway together with our MTA collab.
In the interim, I guess I'll do a Photoshop with our Toronto subway, and I'll turn that to MTA.
Ace to MTA on the logo on the outside, little Photoshop work.
Exactly. Today's episode is sponsored by StockX. And for those that don't know, StockX is now in Canada. And with the introduction of their all-in pricing, StockX gives us access to the largest supply of current culture products at the best global prices. So with the all-in ask here in Canada, right before you confirm your purchase, it shows you all applicable duties and taxes in the price. So that means there's no hidden fees, no hidden costs, and there's not going to be FedEx or UPS knocking at your door when they deliver the shoes. So this is the only platform that delivers honest pricing. Every dollar you're paying to the cent is visible right before you check out. And as an added bonus for us Canadians, StockX Canada is helping to match Canadian buyers with Canadian sellers, which ultimately helps to drive down unnecessary duties and taxes on out-of-country transactions. And it also helps to reduce delivery times when you're dealing with Canadian buyers and sellers in our own country. So again, for all my Canadian listeners out there, be sure to check out StockX for their all-in pricing for the biggest selection at the lowest prices. So now let's move on to my channel flipping segment, which is a rapid fire Q&A session where I give you 2 options and then you pick the one that you're feeling the most. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
So let's start things off with West Coast or East Coast?
Oh man, I'm from the West Coast, Sean. How dare you do this to me?
I know, that's why I ask.
My goodness, don't tell my friends, but I'm going to go with the East Coast on this one.
It's okay. Your friends won't watch this, I'm sure.
I'm sure they will actually, and they'll comment.
Spring or summer fashion or fall and winter fashion?
Definitely. Oh my God. I was gonna go hardcore with fall and winter, but I'm obsessed with wearing swim. If I could live in a swimsuit, I probably would. Uh, but as far as fashion goes, I don't know how fashion forward the swimwear is as much as like being able to layer. So I think I'm gonna have to go with fall, winter.
Modeling or YouTube hosting?
Hmm. Whew. These are really rough, these rapid fire questions. It really makes you think. Don't tell my agents, but I'm going to go with YouTube hosting.
Wow.
I have a
Okay.
degree in broadcasting and journalism, so I
Okay, that makes
definitely
sense then.
was set up for this.
It was your calling, your true purpose.
Yes. According to all my friends, I talk too much, you know.
Air Jordan 1 mid or Air Jordan 1 low?
I'm not a mid person, so definitely going to have to go with the low over the mid.
Yeah, me too. Air Jordan 3 or Air Jordan 4?
Air Jordan 4 for sure.
Wow, really? I saw you rocking the rust pink, so I thought maybe you might be
I love a 3. I do. But there's been some pretty amazing 4s that have come out in the past few years. So I'm just kind of vibing with the 4 right
yeah.
now.
Yeah, all
But
right.
I do
hear
love my
ya.
rust pinks. I'm like, I'm sorry, rust pinks. I'm looking at them over there. Don't be insulted.
The rust pinks are just walking away out your door right now.
Literally, I'm like, come back. I take it back.
All right, next one. Sakai or Union?
Mm. Union has done some amazing stuff, but I'm going to have to go with my Chitosi Abe. I rock not only sneakers from her line, but I rock the clothes as well. My closet is filled with Sakai
Nice.
items. If only I had an unlimited credit card, it would be all Sakai, but until the price dips, it's not going to be that way.
Yeezy 380 or Yeezy 500?
I'm going to go with Yeezy 500.
OG colorways or new collab colorways?
Oh, that's a tough one too. I mean, I do love the history behind OG colorways, and I also have a degree in history, so I may have to go with the history. I know. Random side note, I studied history. I'm obsessed with history.
So history, broadcasting, what else?
So broadcasting with a mixture of journalism, and then, you know, I was just like, why not add some history into it? But my focus was African history, so.
You're going with OG or?
Oh yeah, sorry, I forgot the question for a minute. Yeah, I'm going to go with OG as a history person.
There's like a wave of OG sneakerheads just clapping for you right now after hearing
Right.
that.
I was like, my God, totally spaced on the question at hand for a moment.
All right, next question. New Balance or Adidas?
My feet are talking to me right now from walking all day today, which I love me some Adidas. But as far as longevity goes, I'm going to have to talk to my high arches, and they're saying to go with New Balance. And my physical therapists are probably watching right now, like, seriously, Marissa, go with New Balance.
Okay. And final question, being that you live in New York, this question might be like stupid, but Midtown Manhattan or Lower Manhattan? Is that a thing? Lower Manhattan?
Okay, so Midtown Manhattan is not really a place. Like, Midtown is not where you really want to like hang out. That's kind of more the new financial district. That's where the finance bros hang out, I guess. Suits and ties and all of that, and it's a little
That could be your
sexier over
crowd.
there.
It could be your crowd.
Yeah. I don't go to Midtown unless I have work or if I have casting. So I would have to probably say, like, if you're talking Lower Manhattan, like downtown, Lower East Side, that's probably definitely what I would pick.
Is there some other place in New York that would rival like the Lower Manhattan area that would make your question a bit tougher to answer?
Well, I think we'd have to like leave Manhattan and probably go to Brooklyn.
Okay. So if I'd said Brooklyn or like Lower East Side Manhattan, then that
I would
might
probably
be a bit...
I'd probably go with Brooklyn over Manhattan.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
The tourist in me, I kind of just stick, for the most part, to Manhattan. So I've never really like I've gone to Brooklyn to see like is it Dumbo or whatever? What's
Yeah, so
Dumbo?
I
Dumbo, right?
actually, yeah, lived in Dumbo. But yeah, just kind of things have just changed a lot. And I think when I first moved to New York, I was kind of anti Brooklyn. I refused to go over to the Brooklyn side. But now that I've, spent years in Manhattan, I now kind of prefer Brooklyn over Manhattan in general. But also, when you live here, you don't want to go to Times Square. You don't want to go to the touristy places. You start to hate being around groups of people because, like, for me personally, I'm always rushing to get somewhere. And I laugh. I used to tell my mom how many people I would surpass in a day. I'm like, Mom, I surpassed like 50 people a day when I was like going to my castings. Can you believe it? But yeah, I mean, it makes life easier when you're not trying to like maneuver around people to get from point A to point B, just because I feel like if you do live in the city, you usually are trying to get like from place to place to place, and there's only so much time in the day. So you're really just constantly rushing and trying to avoid like the super crowded areas. And Midtown can get pretty crowded as well.
Yeah, I guess it's completely different when you become like a citizen of that city as opposed to just
Yeah.
being a tourist. Changes your whole perspective with things.
Oh yeah, when I first came to New York, I was like, oh, Times Square, it's so amazing. The lights, the campaigns, the billboards, this is fantastic. The naked cowboy, he's great. And now I'm like, I don't want to see any of these people approach me for money. Like, if one other bicycle approaches me for a ride, which is a total scam, don't ever take the bicycles. They charge, I think it's something insane. It's like it adds up to like $200 for like, I don't know, 30 minutes or something crazy like that. But yeah, you go from being a tourist and loving certain places to, really finding your kind of borough when you come out here.
Looking back at your YouTube channel and all the success that you've gained in the past year and a half or so, so what kind of kickstarted that all? Like, how did you get interested in sneakers? What's your origin story?
So I honestly I've lived in sneakers my whole life. I think sports definitely had a huge impact. I was a collegiate athlete. I played volleyball in college. But I remember it's not, a super popular shoe, but growing up, my mom didn't really give me money for anything. So I had to get a job super early on. I was, waiting tables. I was also doing babysitting on the side just to kind of make ends meet for any of the activities and hobbies that I wanted to pay for. And on sports teams, one of the main things that you need are sneakers. And so with every sport team I was on, I needed to purchase a team sneaker. And it was always so expensive. I mean, an $80 shoe to a 14-year-old, I mean, it's like, where am I going to get this kind of cash? Like, what am I going to do? So I, worked so hard just to save up. I remember for my first Mizuno sneaker. And that sneaker just kind of is instilled in my head because I, worked like 30 hours in order to save up for that sneaker. And so that I could fit in and be a part of my team. And so I think at that point in time, I really started to rethink how I felt about sneakers in general. And every sneaker that I purchased from that point on was very important and meaningful to me because, it was my hard work, time, and energy that I was putting into it. So it meant something different to me. It wasn't given to me as a gift or handed down. I never had that kind of easy path of, oh, buy whatever shoe you want. Not to say that my mom didn't buy me shoes. She definitely got me, shoes that probably I wasn't ecstatic about. Like I wanted Jordans, but she just couldn't afford Jordans when I, was growing up. So I was, wearing great shoes still. I was in Adidas Superstars and Skechers and K-Swiss. But when it came to team shoes, that was where I really just kind of wanted to fit in and be a part of my team. And so with that came just hard work and earning that. And then I finally remember the time when I was able to afford my first Jordan. It was a Jordan 14. And that was kind of a pivotal moment for me. I was like, my gosh, I've made it in life. I actually bought my first Jordan.
So you go from getting interested in sneakers, being an athlete. So then how do you go from modeling to starting Shade TV?
So, obviously, we were all pretty hit hard last year, I think, with COVID and everything. And actually, before COVID kind of hit hard in the US, I was basically, in a bunch of sneaker chats, and I would always ask questions. And it was all guys and just me in the sneaker chat, by the way. I was the only girl. But I, wanted kind of styling advice here and there, and I wasn't really getting it from them. So I would go and I would search on YouTube to see if I could really find anything. And there just wasn't anyone that I felt like I could really relate to stylistically, the way
Yeah.
that I would actually pair my sneakers, with different looks. And so it just processed in my mind, what if I actually, start a YouTube channel? But I had never done video content really or uploaded anything to the YouTube space. So for me, I kind of just started the channel playing around. It wasn't even, it was more of a joke where I was joking with my friends, like, what if we just started this together, everyone? And, we'll put sneakers together and I'll try and, eventually do looks and things like that. But I really didn't take it seriously, I think, until May of last year, where I finally was kind of getting into the mindset that, this is really something I want to take more seriously. So I just hit, I would say, like my year anniversary just a few weeks ago. And so it's been officially, I say, a year of me actually being like really honed in on actually committing and doing this channel, because I wanted to make sure that not only was I able to be consistent, but that I was able to secure the sneakers. Because at the end of the day, how do you have a sneaker channel if you don't have the shoes to show? So I just needed to make sure mentally that I was prepared for the work and the effort that actually was going to go into securing pairs to have enough to actually produce content.
Hmm.
And then, as far as modeling goes, I work pretty much every day on either e-com or I'm in showrooms. I'm doing campaigns and I'm on set with stylists on a constant basis. So I have the luxury of knowing, for instance, in showrooms, what buyers are going to be buying from designers ahead of time. I know what's going to be going out, months and months in advance for huge companies for e-com, because I'm shooting for them on a day-to-day basis. And on top of that, I'm doing lots of different campaigns and lookbooks and catalog work. So it's just kind of this full circle of already being, thrown into this world of fashion where I have all the knowledge needed just because I'm, aligned with the industry. I'm not necessarily somebody that has to go and Google and reference things or be on social media constantly to see what the trends are, because I'm part of the trends. I'm the person they're putting the clothes on, to really make them presentable for consumers to purchase. So I've just kind of just taken that with me and tried to kind of add that perspective
Yeah,
to the YouTube
definitely.
channel as well.
Aside from the fact that your channel has grown so much in just technically 1 year's time, the thing I like most about your videos, it gives you everything you need to know. So for myself, like my videos, they're much more focused on the technical reviews, but I don't really have like a stylish eye. Whereas, so I was going through like your videos, I've been following it for a while. It gives you like a very comprehensive sense of like pairing the shoes with outfits. And it's not just one outfit. It's here are the different options you can consider. And I think that's what a lot of people really love about your videos. And I think, correct me if I'm wrong, but being a model, being involved in the fashion space, having that sort of eye for style definitely helps when you're creating content related to sneakers, right?
Oh yeah, for sure. And also just I've had so much practice over the years just being constantly in front of the camera. I mean, sometimes honestly my eyes just get exhausted because I'm literally in front of flashes all day and these bright lights, and I kind of need to just be in the dark. My friends will come over and they're like, "Where's Marissa?" I'm just sitting there quietly like in the dark with the lights off. I'm just like, I need to rest my eyes, you know. But definitely I think, just being around, I think, cameras and lenses and all these things, I've definitely acquired a lot of skills and learned a lot of valuable information. But one of the things when I started the channel is I wanted to do something completely different than what was being done. I didn't want to copy or mimic anyone. But I will say, Sean, a lot of people, when they were first commenting on my first videos, they said, they were referring me actually to you. And so you were,
What? No way.
yes, they
Seriously?
said you should create content more like Sean Go. And one of the things that I truly admire about your channel is I think you do a phenomenal job with photography. You are
Thank you. Thank you.
so good at shooting sneakers. I'm also a foot and leg model. So, like I see really close-up shots of how, like for instance, Steve Madden, because I shoot their shoes, I shoot for Clark's, I shoot, for just so many different shoe brands. And so to see somebody like yourself, I know that this is not a full-time thing, you're an accountant, but you really have an eye for photography. And, I'm
Thank you.
saying
Thank
that
you.
because I see my feet all the time, what the images look like. So I definitely have to applaud you for, a job well done and just, the entire structure of your channel. I think it's just so organized and well planned. And that was definitely something I looked up to when I was building my channel, is how organized you were. And so that was another thing that I really wanted to define, was that organization. I wanted all the viewers to understand and know that when they came to the channel, this is what you're coming to see. And I'm not going to cheat you out of anything. I'm not going to try and clickbait you. And the name Shade also kind of came from, throwing shade on certain things that people maybe weren't as comfortable in talking about. And so things like talking about clickbaiters and talking about female experiences that we go through, that are kind of uncomfortable topics. So I kind of started to build that also into some of my videos. But I definitely think that just trying to kind of take a left when everybody was going right was really the motivation that I had, and just creating just more of a niche type of topic, which was, really bringing fashion into my videos and taking it to the outdoors and really just doing what I do on a day-to-day basis, which is model in front of the camera.
You can clearly see like your expertise and your passion for fashion definitely shines through in the videos. So the thing I want to ask you though, so Shade TV, people refer to you as Shade TV.
Shade.
But
or Shade, yeah.
So like, you're the face of Shade TV, but is there a team that you work with, or is it just a one-woman show?
So when I started, Shade TV, definitely I had a lot of people in mind. I come from a very big teamwork ethic. I'm all about cohesion. One of my actual theses that I wrote this like 58-page paper on in college was based off of my volleyball team and why we were so successful in the NCAA championships. And a lot of it was about cohesion and teamwork and having different skills that really added to the success of how far we made it. And so I really learned a lot during those years, and I've kind of implemented that in my life now. And so with that, I had different pieces, I guess, of the puzzle that I wanted to put into play. And every piece has been very essential in really making Shade TV what it is today. And I definitely have to give like so many accolades to everyone that has participated in helping this channel grow, even if maybe it's not a consistent person, maybe it's a temporary person, or even just my mom, going and trying to win a sneaker for me on different apps. It's just like every person has been so essential in helping me. And now that, we've kind of gone through the grunt work of getting the channel off the ground, I now have all of these budding partnerships with companies I never thought that I would ever talk to. And here they are all of a sudden knocking at my door. And now I'm adding to the team. And it just feels so great to see, the potential of the channel because of the foundation that I've built with so many different people. And it definitely, I know this is so cliche. There's no I in team, and teammate makes the dream work. But I mean, that is what makes my channel so powerful. And it's the team that's backing me for sure.
Yeah, that's amazing. And kudos to mom as well. Like I know like I got to get my wife to help me enter as many raffles as I can. Otherwise I'm stuck paying resale. Like hopefully you don't go down that route, but it gets really expensive and your wallet will hate you for it.
Well, that's the thing too. I do have a lot of sneakers, but anytime somebody's helped me on a shoe, like I'll give a shoe to them.
Yeah.
Even if it's a sneaker that I haven't been wearing for some time, I literally am the most giving person when it comes to something. Somebody could come over and they're like, "Oh, I like that one." I'm like, "Take it, it's yours," you know?
Damn.
Not every sneaker, not every sneaker, but I for sure am very giving in a sense, where I've gotten a lot of my girlfriends into sneakers. One of my friends, she's so into Yeezy 350s right now because I got her a pair for her birthday. And, it's just, I'm happy to share the collection if I can.
So I see the to your right shoulder, the Ama Manier Jordan 3s.
Yes.
So streetwear sneakers, they're becoming much more popular and mainstream in female fashion, right? I want to hear your thoughts on this debate that people have been going back and forth on between having exclusive releases for women only versus just producing all shoes in all inclusive sizing. Where do you stand on that?
I think it's kind of a double-edged sword, to be honest with you, because if you look at it, right, if you only tailor to women and their sizing, then the men are getting left out, right?
Mhm.
But, you still have obviously those who are just going to buy the sizes no matter what. So it doesn't really matter what size is going to be releasing. You're going to have the resellers out there fighting tooth and nail to snag a pair at the end of the day. But also, I get it as a woman, it's frustrating if a shoe comes out, but they don't release your size. I usually am in that kind of size range where I can just size up half a size and wear a thick sock and call it a day.
Yeah.
But I know that there's a lot of women, that don't have that option to do that. But also, for men as well, I know that they want a lot of women's shoes and I feel bad too if you're super in love with a shoe, but it doesn't come in your size. So I think, broadening that and opening up to all genders, I think it would be great just to have, all sizing across the board so that you're not limiting anyone from being able to grab a pair of sneakers.
So from a colorway perspective, I feel like maybe not so much now, but maybe a handful of years ago, the brands would kind of focus female releases to be more of your cliche female colors and materials.
Yeah. I definitely think that, in speaking with a lot of these brands and seeing what their 5-year plans are, they're definitely listening now, which is great, and that's why I love my platform so much because I do love kind of speaking out against things that us women are, kind of missing out on. And it's because the brands aren't listening to us and what we want as, somebody who's in the sneaker community and culture. It doesn't necessarily need to be defined as females versus males.
Yeah, agreed.
But, at the end of the day, we don't need all pink shoes or, florally prints and things like that. We just want good colorways, just like any type of shoe release. I think the Ama Maniers were definitely one of those releases where they just did such a great job with the color combination, the quality. I mean, quality is huge for me. As long as you're giving me a quality sneaker,
Yeah,
leather wise on the Ama Maniers, this is just
amazing.
can't beat it. They just did such a great job. But I think this is a prime example that, things are changing and they are turning around. You are seeing a lot more females having voices out there to really be representative of all of us so that we can have access to, these great colors as well. And I think brands are starting to see in sales and numbers, at least, what shoes and materials are not doing so well because they're just kind of sitting on the shelves.
Yeah, one of the women's releases that are coming out soon, I think maybe next month or something like that, the Seafoam Air Jordan 1s. I'm personally excited for those. Those are really nice.
That's a great colorway. It is a great colorway. I love a good kind of teal. So definitely excited about that. And again, I mean, they didn't put florally prints on it, hearts and stars and things like that. They left it very simple, and that's kind of, and me at certain times, I'm very minimalistic with things. And I do like to have simplicity. My saying on my channel is I always wear black and sometimes dark gray. So that's like my Lego Batman saying that all of my viewers kind of know me for. But, I love simplicity. And sometimes I just want a black and gray shoe.
Mm-hmm.
I don't need a crazy colorway or a crazy theme in order to want to purchase it.
Last question I have about your channel, and it's kind of an offshoot not related to sneakers, but I see Funko Pops behind you. And I saw you did a few unboxings of like the WandaVision pops and stuff like that. Are you just a geek at heart, or what's the story there?
I am a total geek in so many ways. I am like an onion with so many layers, but just culture in general, Funko Pops really just kind of hit me in different ways. Like I literally have maybe 60 to unbox. I'm so behind. And I honestly, one of my highest viewed videos was my Godzilla versus Kong pop unveiling. So I definitely am hoping to actually start to really combine more pops into my content. But I've just been, a huge fan. Like I'm obsessed with Pretty Woman, for instance. So I've got, Julia Roberts over here. Overwatch is one of my favorite games to play. So we've got Diva over here, and my Twitch name is Diva Wears Prada. But yeah, I mean, it's just kind of quirky and fun, and it's just kind of a side hobby, but I'm pretty excited because I'm going to be doing a lot more Funko Pops when it comes to videos and content this coming year. So hopefully we can just get a little more time today. I need more than 24 hours.
Looking forward, hypothetically speaking, let's say the year is now 2030. So where do you envision Shade TV to be? Where do you envision yourself to be? And how do you define like success in those terms?
I kind of look at Shade TV as the foundation point to an ecosystem that's much larger. And where I see it, I guess, 9 years, which will probably fly by any moment from now, right? I see it, really diversifying and not just being a YouTube channel. I really have kind of just been drawn to building this platform as a voice for other females. So I'm hoping, in the future that it will have, a huge following of females who are very in tune and intrigued by sneaker culture and who want to build a cohesive, just safe and positive environment. I just want them to know basically that my arms are open, and any advice that any of them need. I've talked to a lot of, females who have started their YouTube channel and given them any advice that I can, because I want to see more females have, a voice in the YouTube space. I think it's essential. I just hope to kind of grow this community into just a larger environment for those women who really want to explore it. But also I see it on other platforms being bigger, but also, some bigger partnerships with different brands that I've already kind of aligned with already, which is crazy. So I can't even imagine, 10 years from now where the channel is going to be, because this is kind of just the spark in the beginning, and things have been just extremely exciting. But I'm, really hoping to kind of branch out and be on other platforms. I'm working on a docuseries right now, which is a really just exciting passion project for me. I think that that's going to also take Shade TV in another direction, but also just working on, these great partnerships with these huge brands. That I just, I'm so stoked and humbled to be working with and seeing kind of where those relationships go. But I definitely kind of see Shade TV, again, just on YouTube as the foundation. I see it really aligning so much farther than I could have ever imagined, just from where, this past year has taken me.
Mm-hmm. Honestly, I'm going to call it here right now. So I'm the first to say it. I wouldn't be surprised if it becomes like more of a female focused complex networks. I'm going to say it right now.
That would be amazing. I think, complex is one of those areas where I don't think females are represented as much as
agreed.
They should be. And, I'm happy to start that trend and that wave, but pretty just excited, to have this opportunity to have a platform and to be able to take the time to give energy to creating just such good, fruitful content that, my viewers seem to enjoy. I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for all of them. If they hated the content, my goodness, I'd just be probably crying in my closet. No, just kidding. But, I really do love creating content that viewers really do I guess, relate to in some sense. And actually, I think it hit me hardest when I went to SneakerCon just recently, where I spoke with a few little girls that were there, and they came up to me and they're with their parents saying, "Oh my gosh, Shade, we watched your channel." And it just like it hit home because I realized how much of an impact not only am I making on women, but young women, and how important it is for me to set a good example for them because they're looking up to me as an example. And, it's just one of those moments where I think when you get great comments, it makes you feel good. But when you see them in person, and it means so much more to them than you ever thought it could, that's kind of where, it really just opened my eyes. I'm like, my goodness, I really had no clue how many people I've already affected with this channel. So I'm just hoping to continue to do that on this journey.
Amazing. So if you can share with our listeners, where can they find you? Where are all your social channels and all that stuff?
So ShadeTV is my YouTube channel, but I also have multiple Instagram pages. I have kind of my main model page. I still post some sneaker content on there, but that's Marissa E. Hill. And I also have the Hype model, which is more centered towards all the sneakers that I'm doing unboxings on week to week. So if you're looking to see updates on when I'll be posting, I think that's kind of the best area to find all that information. I also have the Pop model account. So if you love pops, that's where you can find all my pops. And I'm also on TikTok at Marissa E. Hill. So many social platforms.
I was surprised at the Funko one. That definitely made me laugh, but in a good way.
You won't see a lot of me, but you'll see my cute Funkos, and I'm gonna probably start pairing them with sneakers because why not?
Trust me. There's tons of sneakerheads that love Funkos, so it'll definitely be popular. So from my YouTube channel, you can catch my videos at youtube.com/SeanGo. You can find me on Instagram at sgo8 and on Twitter at sean.go spelt out. So thank you, Marissa. It's been a pleasure having you, getting to know you, and learning more about your history. Thank you so much for your time.
Thanks so much for having me, Sean. It's such a pleasure. Finally seeing things kind of go full circle. You were the first YouTube channel that everybody was mentioning to me. And here we are literally a year later having this conversation. So definitely so thankful to be here.
And thank you everyone for listening. Thank you for your continued support. And we'll catch you all in the next episode.